Hey, hey, hey. It's your girl MJ, and welcome to the Booty Call to Bride channel. I am your girl Michelle Tillman, and I know, using my laptop to record, and I'm in my living room instead of my recording room, but we're just gonna get it popping like this because I'm so I don't know what happened. What happened, y'all? If you're watching, give me a thumbs up. We're talking about Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 17, the um, which was the finale episode where they kind of like say whether or not they're gonna stay together or not. So of course, a lot of these decisions were like unexpected, totally unexpected. I was not expecting what I saw. I'm sharing on Facebook right now. So join me live. Married at First Sight recap. Okay, so if you see me looking to the side, it's because I am looking at my notes right here on my laptop while I'm recording this. Okay, so first, let's talk about Gil and Mirla. Gil said if he doesn't know by now, he would never know in regards to making the decision. And Mirla said her wedding day was terrible. Everybody thought she was like being sarcastic, but she was like, no, it was a long day. It was too much, and she doesn't like meeting new people. But then Gil was like, well, I liked meeting your family. I liked meeting everyone. So I guess he was just like, okay, you didn't like meeting new people, aka my family. Weird. But anywho, so everyone was asking them questions. All the experts were like, so where are you at now? Because your intimacy at the beginning versus now. And she was like, it went from 0 to 100. And he was like, no, it went from 0 to 45. And then it went from like 45 to 100. And so they admitted that they did consummate their marriage 2 weeks ago. And he said, and it went good, but it didn't sound like he was too excited about the consummation of the marriage. Like, it didn't seem like he was wowed, or he didn't make it seem that way. His reaction to me was very underwhelming. If that would have been me, I would have been like, no, I need you to act a little more happy about that, okay? So then Pastor Kyle asked her if that was her wedding ring on, and she was like, no, my wedding ring was ugly. Did you see it? So she was still like in this whole decision day complaining, saying her wedding was awful, saying her wedding ring was ugly. And then Gil started going on like, well, your moodiness puts me in a bad place and it drains him. So he was going on negative. So I'm like, okay, he about to say no. And Dr. Viviana was like, we thought y'all would choose love and happiness over discrepancy in pay. Were we wrong? And Miller was like, yes, I think y'all were wrong. But in the end, she ended up saying yes, she wants to stay married to her husband because she loves waking up to him every day. And then Gil said he's enjoyed the last weeks, but they are two different people when it comes down to money. But he said, I can definitely say that I'm in love with you, and I respect your passion and your hustle. So I was like, okay, so if you're watching, give me a thumbs up. But I was like, okay, so he respects the passion and hustle. So to me, that means that he will like eventually come along. Like, I think, and me and some of my friends were discussing on Facebook, like, if they would just get in the mindset where they could really like combine their money and not think this is my money, this is his money. And I know they don't know each other that well yet to do this, but just combine your bank account and it's just one big lump sum, and we just work together instead of thinking about that. And I think Gil puts too much pressure on himself to do what his dad did and like pay for all the bills. And I think that that's what he's thinking he has to do. But if you have a woman who is making that amount of money, whether it was the equal amount of pay or more, it doesn't matter. You don't have to pay for all of the bills. Like, that's not how it has to go. Like, we're in 2021. You don't have to pay all the bills. Like, people don't necessarily do things like that anymore, and I know people don't always necessarily combine their money anymore either, but I think that would be a good thing for them to just kind of like okay, this is what we have together, and let's move and make our life and our financial decisions from there. So hopefully they do that so they can stay married, because I know like she does do the complaining too, and he doesn't like that. So I'm not sure like how he's going to get past the complaining. She does recognize it's an issue, so hopefully she gets better at it. Okay, let's go to Bao and Johnny. So they talked about how they had a great start, and but she said that he sabotaged things and had unrealistic expectations. She saw the potential of happiness, but she felt like Johnny wanted to avoid being hurt. He said that she's cute and quirky and she's always willing to try new things, but her lack of maturity was a turnoff to him. He said they look good on paper, but not in practice. She said she felt like there was moments in her marriage where she lost her voice, and in heated argument, she didn't say everything on her mind because didn't want him to get louder and angrier. But he said, "Well, I never yelled at you," and she was like, "Okay, well, I guess we recall these things different." So Dr. Pepper was like, I don't understand how y'all trigger each other into these unsolvable arguments. And I was the same way. Like when they were arguing on the show, I just didn't understand, like, how did you get to this point? Like, why don't you just see, like, to me, it was like always a clear path to exit from their argument. But it's like they just never could get to that place. Hey, Larissa. So they just had arguments, like she said, that were kind of like unnecessary. But anywho, and Pastor Kyle even said, you know what, the same problems that you had in your dating, y'all brought those into your marriage. And Johnny said, shockingly, yes, he wants to stay married and see what happens without the cameras. And Bao said no. She said, because I came here for support and trust, and I can't trust that what you did and how you acted is going to change. And he was just like, well, why couldn't she just give it a shot? Was the marriage that bad? Yes, Johnny, it was that bad. Sir, were you there? Uh, you told her anybody but her. You said, it didn't work 15 years ago. It ain't gonna work now. I'm just like, yeah, it was that bad. You just chopped her down to nothing. And now you're talking about, was it that bad? Heck yeah, it was that bad. And even when they had the little dinner at the table, he tried to like defend his answer, like, yeah, I went in there thinking no, but then I was like, why not? And then she was like, yeah, I had my decision made up. The cameras and all the situation didn't change, didn't sway. Like, this was my decision and I knew it. And so I'm glad she stood firm in what she thought and her belief. Um, Hey, Kamisha, she's doing good. She's sleeping. Thanks for watching. If y'all are watching, give me a thumbs up. So now let's go to Bret and Ryan. We already knew, like, it's really nothing to talk about. They both said no. We knew they was gonna both say no. But Ryan said he didn't get married for a roommate, and Bret is not outdoorsy, and how they think politically is totally different. They just vote different. And she said her problem was that he tells her one thing and then she hears everything different from everybody else. So basically, he never said things to her face. He just told the other castmates, which is just like a punk move. Like, don't go talking about me and you don't tell me. How can I fix it if you don't tell me? And then they asked him, like, was there anything that she could have done to make a difference? And I'm like, crickets. I didn't hear the answer. Did I miss it? Please tell me, did I miss it? Because I feel like he didn't even answer. And he was like, don't use, they were telling him, don't use the not my type thing as a cop out. And he was just like, I mean, I'm 35. I have a type. Okay. What does your age have to do with that? Like 35, you should say, I'm 35 and I've realized that me picking my type hasn't worked out for me. So, and apparently she said he wasn't her type either. So, I mean, she was willing to work. And Dr. Viviana even asked like her, Brett, did you think that he was even ready for marriage? And like she said no. So I'm thinking like, okay, why wasn't he ready for marriage, or was he not ready to be married at first sight? I think neither. I don't think he should have went on that show since he has such of a type. And two, he was such a serial dater. Like re-downloading the app, which okay, I didn't even realize like, okay, you was on all the apps before. So now you re-downloading it, acting like you don't know how the app work and you didn't think it was gonna go active until after decision day, bruh. Like they said, you was trying to be the nice guy and now you end up looking like a jerk because you couldn't wait a few days. So and then but then they showed a little preview on the reunion, like she had a new boo, and then in the groups, they all talking about she had a boo the whole time. I don't know. I wouldn't blame her because after a while, like at the beginning, it looked like there was, having something like that could possibly be something. And then, like they said, he got home and started acting different. Cha, I can't call it. I'm done with them. But okay, Michaela and Zach, y'all. Okay, first of all, they were so passionate in the beginning. And Zach said when they first had the issue that, you know what? She has a fundamental way she handles problems that's different than me. And her explosive reactions, like that's who she is. And I hate to say it, at first I was like, well, he don't even want her to change. But he was kind of right. Like, that's who she is. And those type of behaviors that you have been doing like your whole life, they're not going to automatically change. If you're watching me, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Thank y'all for watching. But with Michaela, you can't just be doing something for 30 something years and then, okay, in 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it is, now you're going to change your behavior. That's not how it works. Like, it's going to take time to unlearn those reactions. Just because she talked with the experts about something 1 week or another week or 3 times, it doesn't mean she's going to automatically be able to just stop doing those things. So I think that even as a viewer, we had unrealistic expectations like that somebody is really going to just boom, change what they've been doing their whole life. And I think that's what he meant. Like, no, this is who you are. And even if something is who you are and you want to change it, it's going to take time and effort that I don't think Zach was willing to put in. So they both talked about how it's been a roller coaster, and he said he loves her. And just like Kev on stage said in his last review, he was like, yeah, I bet he gonna get on there and be like, she's one of the best women I know. And of course he did that. I'm like, why do all that? Why say she's the best woman I know outside of my mama? And I'm like, okay, if she's the best woman, why are you divorcing her? So of course he said no, but then he tried to go back in his whole little, well, when I say no, I mean we're not gonna be married, and but we could still like get to know each other. No, sir, that's not how life works. That's not how it goes. You want to just still kind of be cool when knowing good and well that is just not, what you're trying to do. Like Larissa said, he was like, don't don't act like you're willing to stay in the marriage when you're not. And I think based on what happened, none of us expected him to stay in the marriage after the way she acted crazy. However, you started off the whole decision day with this long lovey-dovey speech, making us feel like, oh, well, maybe he's about to accept all the crazy that comes with her because she loves him and all this. I'm like, why even go into that whole little speech about how you think she's so amazing when you know you're about to say you're gonna divorce her? Then by the time they get to the table, of course, Michaela said, okay, yeah, she won't be married. But of course, by the time they get to the day after decision day where they're all together telling each other what they thought or what happened on decision day, she's like, well, at first I had to get over the initial, huh? And now I understand. And I still want to. She basically kind of made it seem like she was going to still try to work things out, still talk to him, still hang out. Michaela, girl, what he's saying is, I will still talk to you. I will still sleep with you. But I still want to go and hang out and meet with other people, date other women, because I already know after this show, he going to be like extra popping in these streets. He still wants to see what's on the outside. And if he's just dating you and he does all of that, then it's not a big deal. But if he's married to you, it's a huge deal. it's infidelity, it's all those things. So like he definitely wants to have his cake and eat it too. And I think that sex pull or soul tie, whatever they got going on, is what's drawing them together to still try to work it out, even though you said you want to get divorced. Like I don't. He he should not be married to her because I feel like they are both unstable. However, the way he tried to deliver his decision, even Pastor Cal was like, um, sir, it is nothing. What was the word he used? Pastor Cal was like, it's nothing to be mind boggled about. You just want to say yes, you want to be married, or no, you don't. And be clear about your expectations going forward. Don't have her, hanging in limbo trying to figure out, well, what does this mean? I just hope she don't get caught up in it. But it looks like based on the reunion, she probably didn't get caught up in it. She realized like, oh, okay, wait, this is not what I thought it was. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment down there for me. So anywho, we're done with Michaela and Zach. He just really got on my nerves because he tried to really make it seem like what he was saying made any sense. You want to be married or you don't. There's nothing else to talk about. Like once this decision day has gone, we got to do the reunion. I don't know what the laws are in Texas. If they got to do a year of separation, I don't know to file, but bruh, stop trying to boost her up just to bring her down. Just say no and stand in it. Man up. Man up in your no. Like stop being a punk about your no. That's so whack. Okay. Jose and Rachel, we all kind of knew what they were going to say. They both said yes. No surprise there. But one of the things is like they kind of paused and made it all dramatic when she was just like, well, they asked him, do you fully trust your wife? And then he said, well, when ish hits the fan, she might run off. And then she was like, things aren't perfect. And I didn't know how it was going to be after he blew up. And I don't know if I could trust him. But she ended up still saying yes anyway. So, girl, bye. We knew y'all was going to say yes. Will they work in the long run? I don't know because he don't want to spend no money on Switzerland trips. And he wants to go to Texas up the street. She said that ain't no trip. But yeah, we all knew that Jose and Rachel were going to say yes. That was not, anything to think about. So, anywho, y'all, I'm done talking. What did y'all think about this reunion? I see it's about 4, 5, 6, 7 y'all watching live that I could see. What are your thoughts? Reunion, are you watching? Hey, and one thing I wanted to say that I noticed this time in the reunion, I could have sworn like past seasons they split decision day up in more than one episode, but today it was like they did it all in one episode, and I was thankful because this season was dragging and boring on several occasions. However, having it all in one episode was very clean cut. And I was like, yes, I don't got to watch another week just to see the other half. I think they did a good job at that. Make sure if you're watching, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate the love. Share this video because this season was a struggle, y'all. I promise you, I was not even going to review this season, but my girl Tatum from the Blessed and Boss Up podcast was like shouted me out and said that she watched my reviews, and I was like, okay, you know what, let me get on here and do these reviews again because I worked on tons of reality shows and I kind of have my little 2 cents. But yes, Lee, I'm looking for the reunion too because it seemed like Bao made a little comment about her and Zach would be a good match. And then they were like, so Mirla and Johnny, is there something else going on between y'all? And then Gil walks off looking sad and he got a full beard. I'm like, what is happening here? Like, it seems like there's going to be a whole lot of changes between decision day and the reunion. And I don't know how far of a distance it is between those two, but I seriously am like, okay, next week I'm for sure tuning in because I was like, this season is going down, but it seems like all the good stuff is going to be happening at the reunion, all the updates. So we are going to definitely be watching I told Brandon he should have jumped in the video with me because he was sitting right here beside me on the couch. He's like, "You doing a video downstairs?" I said, "I sure am," because I want to get this out, and I know the video quality is not as good with my laptop, but hey, this is how you're gonna get it today. But next week we'll see. I don't know. We shall see. I thought about doing it live during the show and like giving my feedback as it happens, but I don't know if YouTube will like, trigger the video from the show and flag me or something like that. Larissa Be You Beautiful says, I think they allow people to go through situations that are not healthy, such as with Bao and Johnny. Seems like it was something more that they could have done to protect her well-being. Yeah, I totally agree with that because um it's like they just want to do anything for the ratings now. And this show and this season to me, like it wasn't a lot of good true love stories. And I kind of feel like there must be some huge financial incentive for them to keep holding on because like Bao, she should have been gone. Like Brett, she should have been gone. Like even Rachel, she should have been gone, but she decided to go ahead. I don't care if a man locked me out. I don't care if I gotta go sleep at my ex house for the weekend. Just lock me out and protect your property. I get it. It's okay. I could bang on a door all night and I'ma still come home. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of feel like it must be a huge incentive um for them to stay and stick around because clearly some of these people should have been gone. But instead, they stayed and kept saying, "Well, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope." And then even Bao even said at the table at the end, she was like, "It's a little too late." I mean, Johnny was a little too late. He decided, "Oh, well, why not?" Okay, why not is not a good enough for me. Like, no, tell me why. Not tell me why not. Tell me why. Like, or tell me why you said no versus yes versus well, let's just give it a shot. You've been trying to give it a shot for like the last few weeks and it wasn't working. So that didn't make sense. But anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I see I have a few people watching. You guys have comments. What are you thinking? For next week. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you're watching. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off, y'all, and go get in this bed. Thank y'all so much. And thank you, Larissa and Lee and Kamisha for commenting. And I will see y'all next week. Bye.